This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place to tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Thank you for being here with me, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for being patient. Listen, I got No Take Nate. I got Big Bubba in the back. I have no choice but to be late right now. Dealing with these guys. You get it? But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the New York Knicks get a win tonight, 108-100. And it wasn't easy. It's a little bit tougher than you would expect. First of all, they're playing the Pistons. Then you got Killian Hayes out, Cade Cunningham out. And I know the Knicks had Kemba out and Mitch and Nerlens Noel, but you expected it to be a little bit different. A basketball game actually broke out. But I think this was really, really good for the Knicks. They learned a little bit about themselves. I think we learned a little bit about the Knicks. So let's go ahead and break it down, ladies and gentlemen. Again, we got No Take Nate. We got Big Bubba. We got Uncle Fulio. We got Tony Crow in the building. And we're going to talk basketball. New York Knicks beat the Detroit Pistons. 108-100. Josh, what's popping with you, man? What's your thoughts about this game?
Sam, salute the NBK fam, salute the panel, salute the chat. First thing I want to say, all right, hot off the presses. In the first half, we got absolutely out-hustled. Detroit, it seemed like they were going after every loose ball. They were getting rebounds. The Knicks were still moving the ball offensively, moving it around. We had a lot of open attempts at the rim. We just could not be able to convert. And that's the reason why we were down to start the game off and in the first half. But in the second half, I know we enjoy the Knicks playing team basketball and moving the ball around the floor. But the reason why, they have Julius Randle is you have to have that all-NBA player to be able to will you back in games like this. It's going to happen come playoff time. It's going to happen when the games get close. Teams are going to be able to, actually match the Knicks as far as their intensity and their hustle. But if you got a guy like Julius Randle, an all-NBA player, I think you'll be fine. So that's the reason why they have him there. And he's the reason why we won the game tonight. We were able to come back and win the game tonight. But that first half, we absolutely got out-hustled. And I give a lot of credit to Dwayne Casey and that Pistons team. All the injuries that they have, they were still able to he was still able to get the most out of his players and have them hustling around the floor. So props to him. And then tonight was a great win for us.
Yeah, no doubt. Tony, what's popping with you, man? How you feeling? Talk to me.
I'm good. Peace, chat. Yo, Black is time. Good win. I think they needed that experience.
Mm-hmm.
I was even thinking during the game, if they lose it, they may need that loss, that experience, just to put that fire under them to know, you can't take any team lightly. They got that mentality, but I'm happy to see they fought back, played as a team. Randall stepped up. RJ stepped up in at the same time frame with Randall. Mm-hmm. So if it wasn't Randall scoring, it was RJ getting that bucket. That was nice to see. I can't wait till we have full strength. And to see how long it takes for us to really have the full chemistry of everybody. Because I like what I'm seeing though. Next man up. The other Sims, he played good minutes and his opportunity. Fighting for whatever it is, roster spot, two-way, whatever it is. So, yeah, good win.
Okay, Big Bubba. Real quick, man. No long soliloquies and nothing like that.
Wait.
A nice quick. Hold up. Just give us a nice quick, 30-second little summation of what your thoughts are. We're going to get back to you later. Just give us that real quick. We don't need no other anything else.
I don't like what you said. Tim, I don't like when you do that because when it's Tony, Josh,
I'm about to pass the mic.
Everybody else.
10, 9, 8.
Listen, all right, look. The game is good. I swear to God, I really get pissed off when you do that. Look, it was a good hard fought game. The Pistons came out strong. Like Josh said, the first quarter was really sloppy basketball. Julius Randle came out through. I was a little peed off that we didn't get to see more of the rookies, McBride and Quentin Grimes. But again, hey, they had the situational stuff. But yeah, it was a good game. We came out, played tough, and we faced adversity. Taj Gibson had a great game. I thought he was really the MVP of the game tonight. And we'll talk about it more.
All right, and Nate, we'll get the no-take Nate, and then I'm going to bring some stats over. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, first and foremost, good news that Mitch is going to probably be back sooner than we thought. They were saying on MSG that he very well could possibly be Friday. So that's cool. So that's good news. We'll get our team whole back very soon.
That is good.
So basically for me, it's all about the defense. I think in the first half, the defense was lackadaisical. We looked slow. We looked out of place at times. Second half, Tibbs said whatever he said at halftime, and they locked down on defense. There were times where Detroit just looked completely out of sorts because the defense was so good on their players. And to me, the shots are going to fall. We have better shooters. That's just a fact. But the thing is, it's about the defense. And when the defense turns up, that's when the Knicks really play their best ball. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right. No doubt about it. And the defense definitely, in that third quarter, Tom Thibodeau was pissed off, called a timeout, lit into him a little bit, and the defense picked up. You noticeably seen a difference. It was noticeable, very noticeable. The defense picked up. Let's take a look at some stats. Then we'll come back and talk about those stats a little bit. All right. Of course, the Knicks won the game 108-100. Not the scoring output that we've seen in previous games, but scored 108 points, and they kept Detroit. It is the Pistons who were undermanned, but they kept Detroit to 100 points, which means right now in the preseason, the Knicks are holding teams to about 101 points per game, something like that. 56 rebounds for both teams. The Knicks had 28 assists. The Pistons had 24 assists. 7 steals for the Knicks, 3 steals for the Pistons, 4 blocks for the Knicks, 6 for the Pistons. The Knicks were led in blocks by, I believe, Taj Gibson. He had 2 blocks. 10 turnovers for the Knicks, 15 for the Pistons. The Knicks shot 45.1% from the field. The Pistons shot 40.4%. The Knicks shot 39.4% from the three-point line, 29.7% for the Pistons. The Knicks shot 81% from the free throw line, 73.9% for the Detroit Pistons. The Knicks only had 6 fast break points tonight. 15 second chance points for the Knicks, 17 for the Pistons. Points in the paint, the Pistons had 44, and the Knicks had 36 points in the paint. Looking at these numbers, I want to start with points in the paint because throughout the game, you heard Clyde, you heard Brain talking about the ability for the opposing team to get into the paint, right? The ability for them to get into the paint. We're talking about guards here. Kemba Walker wasn't playing today. Derrick Rose was playing. Okay? But we have not seen Kemba Walker be a defensive stopper either. How much concern, Josh, I'm going to start with you. How much concern are you having with guards being able to make forays into the paint, especially when we don't have Mitch or Nerlens Noel there?
I am absolutely concerned. I think it's definitely an area of concern that the Knicks definitely need to address this in practice. And Thibodeau needs to do something about it. Quite frankly, listen, and I said the same thing last year. I understand Nerlens Noel is a really good shot blocker. I understand that Mitchell Robinson makes a difference to try to clean up whatever, the guards don't do. But it puts a lot of pressure on the big men if the wings and guards allow the opposition to get into the paint so easily. And on top of that, the Knicks defense is built on allowing other teams to shoot the three ball, take long jump shots. So if that penetration continues to get there, those jump shots are going to be even more open from the opposition. So I'm definitely concerned about that. And we got to find a way to try to limit these guards from getting into the paint. I do think Evan Fournier played well today. Shocked me. He played really well on defense, was able to recover and block block some shots and get some steals. But overall, our guard and wing defense on the perimeter has not been that good, and we definitely got to do something about that.
Yeah, Tony, any thoughts?
Yeah, I think so. I'm concerned, but I'm not overly concerned, mainly because I want to see the team at full strength. It's a recipe for disaster if that's happening with your guards and your best shot blockers aren't in the game.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and we haven't seen any of them. So I think it's unfair to judge them fully. You know, right now. So, but yeah, I am a little bit concerned. But at the same time, I think that has to change your defensive scheme if your best shot blockers aren't on the floor. So maybe they're learning something right now, and things will be, you know, different with the big guys where it'd be less adjustments. You know what I mean? So if this is what they are, if worst case scenario, both our best bigs are out, I think we're still okay. We can definitely improve.
Okay. You know, it's very tough when you still hold a team to 100 points, you know, to complain about the defense. When you hold a team to 40% shooting, 29% shooting from the 3-point line. All right. You know, granted, this is the Pistons and it is, you know, preseason, but still, you still held these guys to those numbers. Right. So, you know, you start to say, well, are we just picking and nitpicking? I say, no, we're not, because eventually we're going to play better competition. We're going to play the Damian Lillards, who, you know, and maybe Kyrie's and guys like that. We're probably not going to stop them from getting into the paint anyway, but we don't want to make it easier than it has to be either. You know what I'm saying? You know, we want to make it tough on them, you know, to get into the paint. We'll see. What I do like, though, is that when the Knicks needed to step up and play some defense, they were able to step in, and really get it done on the defensive side. You know what I mean? That was impressive to me. We'll see what happens, you know, concerning that, the defense and stopping guards from getting into the paint. Nate, I'm going to come to you. I'm going to ask you a question. I see you got a comment. You can go ahead and make that comment. But then I want to ask you, as far as the offense is concerned, how much do you put the offense and you know, we still had, 28 assists. You know, we were kind of, you know, didn't play too well in the first half. Found a way to pull it out, largely to Julius Randle. And a lot of what we did tonight looked a lot like last year, the way that we played. You know, but how much of it is because Kemba was not there and what he brings to the offensive side that maybe Derrick Rose doesn't bring is part of the problem? Go ahead, Nate. Or part of the problem tonight.
Yeah, so just real quick on the last comment you made about the defense. So I know the chat's going to hate me for saying this, but that's one thing Elfrid Payton did.
Let him hate. Let him hate. Let him hate.
Yeah, but that's one reason what Elfrid Payton did well is play good on-ball defense at that guard position. I mean, and the fact is that when we got Kemba Walker and we got Derrick Rose, I don't think anybody thought like, man, these are going to be great defenders. I mean, they're going to be here more for their offense. So you got to give it. It's a give and take situation. You know, I definitely am concerned about the defense, and I definitely think it puts a lot of pressure on our rim protectors because they're going to probably have to be at the rim a lot more, blocking shots or contesting shots, because these guards will get better. And yeah, on the question about the offense, you know, to be honest with you, I'm not sure what I think about this offense yet. I've seen it with Kemba. There looks like there's more pop with Kemba, more pick and roll, quick shooting, to where Derrick Rose actually looks like he's facilitating more. He's not really looking to score. So kind of two different visions you're seeing from the offense. We're still shooting a lot of threes, which is fine. Randall, I think Randall's still kind of trying to figure this all out with all the new pieces. So I think he's still kind of, you know, figuring that part out. I don't know. At times it looks really stagnant. It really does look stagnant. It doesn't look like it's moving a lot. They're looking like they're looking at one player and just hoping they make the basket.
Well, I can't say that for the previous two games. Maybe for tonight it was a little bit stagnant, but the previous two games it wasn't stagnant at all. We averaged 121 points per game over the previous two games.
Yeah.
And the ball was moving. The ball was swinging. So I don't think it was stagnant. I think tonight it was a little bit more stagnant, although we did have 28 assists. Big Bubba, same question. Then I want to get to the box scores.
Yeah, I'm a mixture of what Josh and Tony was saying about the defense. To some extent, I'm not really worried because eventually we are going to get Mitchell Robinson and Nolan Noel back, and that's going to help out the guards a lot with a couple of things. But I also am kind of worried because again we don't know when Mitch and Noel's coming back, so it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough because again. Right? For the talk about Alfred Payton and his defense, I don't remember that many guards he stopped, but maybe you can, I don't know. But, it's going to be tough because Kemba, Derrick Rose, we all know what they're here for. They're not here for defense. They've never been good defenders. D Rose probably has been okay defender under Tom Thibodeau. Kemba, again, he's 5'11". I don't know even if he tried, I don't know how much he can do.
But see, I disagree with you. With him being 6 foot, that to me, with him being 6 foot, doesn't stop you from getting in front of your guy. Now, do you get knocked over? No. Do you get boxed out? That's one thing. Does it stop you from getting in front of your man? I think that's another thing.
No, and that's why I say it's a little tough because again, Kemba's never been known for his defense, and I do assume that, being under Thibs, he's going to work harder than he ever did before on defense as much as he can, especially with his knee. So it's going to be tough, man. I think right now we just got to hope and pray, and we got to score some points until Mitchell Robinson and Noel come back. That part's not going to be hard, scoring the points. But just, getting enough stops when we need to without Mitchell Robinson and Noel being here, that's going to be more of the hard part to me.
Okay, so great answer about the defense, but I was really asking you about the offense, and if the offense didn't hum as much as it had in the previous two games because Kemba Walker was out.
Oh yeah. The offense, it wasn't really. You could tell from the first quarter, man. I thought they were playing lazy. I thought they were playing like odds. I felt like for me the first quarter. You looked at the body language. It was like we're playing the Pistons. We're playing the Pistons and we're home. This should be an easy dub, and it just wasn't like that. Again, I just think they were just doing a lot of lackadaisical things. The offense, like you said, it wasn't humming. It was just so choppy the whole time, and it just wasn't good this first game. But again, this is still preseason. They still got to work out some kinks, and I did think it was a good kick in the butt for them to realize, like, hey. Even if you're playing the Pistons, these are NBA players. These guys are professional. They're going to want to come and kill you guys. Especially, we blew them out by like 40 points each game last year. They're just not going to forget that. So, yeah, man, I just think the Pistons came out to play, and we played a little like a days ago. And, it's one game.
All right. I tend to think that on the offensive side, part of it was due to Kemba Walker being out, and I'll explain a little bit why after I read through these stats, and then I'm gonna get to Tony. The box scores, ladies and gentlemen. Julius Randle, he led the team in scoring, 29 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. Shot 57.9% from the field. He shot 57% from the three-point line. He had 2 turnovers. This game looked like a New York Knicks game from last season. Struggling to score. Then all of a sudden, you turn it up defensively, and then Julius Randle gets hot, knocks down a couple of buckets, and somebody from somewhere contributes. Tonight it was Taj Gibson. He had 21 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists. He shot 64% from the field. He was 1 for 2 from the three-point line. 2 blocks on the night for Taj Gibson. Taj Gibson, he's playing good basketball right now, and I'm gonna tell you what, if he's not gonna be the starter, but Yeah, he's making a case to say, hey, Tom, I'm better than both Nerlens and Mitchell Robinson for real because I could do more. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we need Mitchell Robinson out there for his shot blocking prowess and you know, the other things that he can do on the floor. You know, so anyway, let's get to the rest of the box score. RJ Barrett, he had 12 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 block. He did have 3 turnovers. He didn't shoot that well from the field. He was 3 for 11, 27% from the field. It's 1 for 5 from the 3-point line for 20%. He was 5 for 7 from the free throw line. Derrick Rose had 14 points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds, 2 steals. Evan Fournier only had 5 points. Alec Burks, he got hot at some point. In the third quarter, he had 12 points, 2 assists, 2 steals. Obi Toppin had 6 points. Kevin Knox had 6 points. Emmanuel Quickly only had 1 point tonight. All right, so, you know, this was, you know, a little bit of a rugged game and maybe the kind of game that the Knicks needed. You know, I'm glad we had this kind of game, to tell you the truth. The Knicks on the boards had 14 offensive rebounds tonight. 14. So they did a good job crashing those offensive rebounds. The Pistons had 15 offensive rebounds tonight. Anyway, Tony, what are your thoughts, man? As far as the offense is concerned and what we've seen tonight from the Knicks offense, do you think that not having Kemba Walker there bothered or is part of the reason why our offense, you know, sputtered a little bit out the gate? You know, my thought process is that Kemba Walker, because of his style of play, his court vision, you know, is better suited to run this offense with the starters than Derrick Rose. Right? I think just his style of basketball play, his ability to run in the screen and roll, playing the screen and roll, his ability to see the floor. Obviously, he can knock down the mid-range jump shot, and so can Derrick Rose. But I think Kemba has better floor vision, court vision, than Derrick Rose. And I think that means a lot to this unit, his court vision. And, you know, that's something that I don't know if Derrick Rose has. I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't have it, but I don't think he has it as good as Kemba. And I think that's a big reason, maybe a big reason why we've seen this, you know, the offense kind of sputter tonight and look more like it did last season. What do you think?
I agree. I agree with you, like 100%. I definitely would have to look more into, like, is Kemba better suited? Like, I never really look at that, but that's interesting. But I definitely think he solidifies the starting lineup, and like we talked about before, Rose gets to maintain that bench role where he kind of wants to be. He's comfortable. And it's funny what you said about his court vision, because he makes some of the greatest passes to Taj, but I think that's due to their history throughout the years more than just, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like he doesn't make those passes necessarily with anybody else like he does with Taj. Like them lookaways be hitting with Taj all the time. And I'm like, man, he should use that more often with others, but it's probably just that individual chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing about the offense, as bad as we played in the first half, I remember at some point we had like 11 assists. I don't know what we ended in the first half, but 11 assists. If we ended at 11, that's a decent first half and assists for us. You know what I mean? On pace for 22. You said we had 28, so we obviously improved if we ended there. I think a lot of it also was us missing shots, like missing chippies. Obviously that brings the percentage down and gives the other team an opportunity to score if we didn't get that rebound. So a lot of it was fixable. I think the scariest thing though is that defense, to be honest, because that's the only question mark, and it's not even necessarily the wing. RJ's doing if at the least decent. I wouldn't even say decent. He's doing a good job defensively. I would say Fournier is at least doing a decent job defensively. So it's really that point guard position that if we could just get a little bit more defensively, I think we're gonna be all right.
I don't know where we get it from that point guard spot though. I mean, obviously we have Deuce on the bench, but you don't see right now Deuce breaking the rotation, and it's preseason and he's not breaking the rotation, right? So you don't see Deuce breaking a rotation to supplant Rose or Kemba Walker. So I don't know where it comes from.
Zone last game.
That
and I'd be interested if we go into that more often.
That
because we didn't see it a lot last year.
Right, Josh, what do you think?
So first and foremost, this goes back to my point about Kemba Walker in the offseason and the importance of picking up someone like Kemba Walker in free agency, right? Mm-hmm. Because Derrick Rose does not fit the starting lineup. I think we've been saying this going back to the last year in the playoffs. Derrick Rose does not fit this starting lineup, point blank, period. So I do understand what you're saying about Kemba not being there and then kind of throwing up the chemistry a little bit. But hey, listen, and shout out to my man Stephen Fox in the chat. He pointed this out. The Knicks missed 23 shots in the paint tonight. Mm-hmm. And as Tony said, a lot of chippies, right? So the ball was still moving. We still had opportunities to score. It's not like, we couldn't score or couldn't have any, the looks weren't there. The looks were there. We just missed them. Flat out point blank missed them. I think if we make, probably a third of those, I think this game is much different, right? So we still had an opportunity. Our offense did look a little bit stagnant, but in the second half, when the Knicks started to make that comeback, it was more of Julius Randle isolating. And I think that in times where, even if Kemba Walker is on the floor and the ball isn't going in the net, you got a guy like Julius Randle who you can rely on to bring you back in the game and close games out for you. I think that's what tonight's game really pretty much came down to. And yes, Tim, I definitely do agree with you, but I think in tonight's case, I really didn't see the Knicks offense being stagnant, at least in the first half. I think the ball was moving. I just think that we just didn't knock the shots down. I think that's pretty much what it came down to.
Okay. I just think that I just feel like, I know, we had 28 assists and we had 15 in the first half. I just felt like there were more times in this game where the Knicks, where, like you said, it was stagnant. There was, it was a little bit more, dribble, and then let's try to find a pass. The spacing was a little bit bad sometimes to me. I seen Alec Burks take a couple of threes in that third quarter that I felt like the spacing wasn't good, and that's not what we had seen previously, and it goes back to how the rotations change when one person is out. Kemba Walker was out, so Derrick Rose stepped up into that starting spot. Now, all of a sudden, somebody else is filling in that second unit, and things change. Everything's different. Obviously, Amir Sims was playing, so that had something to do with maybe some of the spacing on the floor. I'm sure, Coach wanted to get a look at him, see if he can be a defensive wing. I think, he has good size. I think he does play good defense. You seen in the third quarter when the Knicks was ready to lock down defensively, he was part of that. Mm-hmm. He was part of that. So maybe he's not going to come in and give you a lot offensively, but he may be that guy that you say maybe he does get that 15th spot on the roster so that he can come in sometimes and play some tough defense, because he does look like a tough defender. But I do feel like, I don't know, it just looked a little bit different. I didn't see Tom Thibodeau talks a lot this season, been talking a lot about moving with the pass. I didn't see it as much today, moving with the pass. I do understand that we miss chippies and some of those things. I just didn't see it today like we have the previous two games. But every game is going to be different. Every game is going to be different. And the key is, can you figure out a way to pull it out? And the Knicks did that. They did that. Absolutely. They figured it out and pulled it out, and I think that's really good here in the preseason.
Sims, I think if Sims does get that roster spot, and I'm talking about not Jericho, the other Sims,
mm-hmm.
he could end up being that enforcer that I was talking about. With the way he plays defense, you know, it might be scary time if he gets in the game, and because you know he might be in there to rough somebody up.
Right.
But I could see him fitting that role. I was just wanted to say that.
Okay. Let me ask you this: do you take anything from this or not, or does it mean nothing because it's preseason? Obviously, the Knicks are 3-0. Their defensive rating in the preseason is 99.7, 7th in the league, but that's good. 99.7. You take anything from that?
I mean, I do. It's Tibbs' philosophy, no matter what. So that's why I don't think the overall defense is gonna drop that much. You know what I mean? Obviously it's gonna drop some, but I think the philosophy isn't gonna change. He's gonna hold people accountable on that first. You know what I mean? Like
right.
we know that, we've seen it. So at the very least, I know the best defenders are gonna be on the floor. Even if the offense suffers some. So the fact that we got better offensively overall, I think we'll be okay. Whatever, like I trust Tibbs. You know what I mean? Like, so he's gonna rock with the defensive guys, the guys that's doing it right. Even if we lack some more offense, but the fact that we're better offensively, how much can you know what I mean?
Right. So let me read out some more defensive stats. Right now, opponent's field goal percentage, 39.8. That's third in the league. This is preseason, right? Third in the league, 39.8. That did not average in tonight. Tonight, the Pistons shot 40.7% from the field, so not much different. Opponent's three-point percentage against the Knicks, 26.7. The Pistons shot 29% from the three-point line tonight. Opponent's assists. The Knicks are giving up 21.5 assists. And tonight, the Pistons had 24 assists. All right, but these are good numbers from the New York Knicks. And again, this did not factor in tonight's game. I thought that it was going to factor in tonight's game, but it did not factor in tonight's game. But, you know, tonight's game is not going to change these numbers much. It's going to be, for the most part, the same. Now, the defensive rating from the New York Knicks, it does factor in tonight's game, and the Knicks' defensive rating, again, is 99.7. Josh, then I'm going to come to you, Nate. Anything from these numbers? I mean, obviously, it's very good for the Knicks, you know, because these are really good defensive numbers, you know? We played against teams that are not playing all of their starters throughout the entire game. So obviously when the season begins, it's going to change a little bit. But we're worried about the defense. And so far, it's looking good.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I'm not really worried about the defense. I just think that, you know, when you asked the question earlier, it is an area of concern when you have guards and wings that get into the paint so easily and freely. And anytime you know, the Knicks aren't playing the Brooklyns or the Milwaukees of the world, but playing, you know, lower tier Eastern Conference teams in the preseason. So I think this stuff that we need to take into account and we need to be concerned about when we start playing those teams. When, you know, when the regular season starts and we start getting into the meat and bones of the season and we start playing more of these teams, then I think it'll be, you know, kind of more apropos to kind of judge it. But as of right now, and obviously they're good. We love to see these numbers, but we just need to see more. I keep going back to that. We need to see more during the regular season. So I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Nate?
So Josh kind of stole my thunder, but basically the same thing. Yeah, I mean, the level of competition, I mean, these teams that we played more likely are not going to be barely going to be vying for the playoffs or the play-in games. So they're not like the best barometer. Obviously, Boston right off the gate is going to be a good barometer, and then, you know, we get into some tougher teams. I will say something that I was thinking about as far as when Tibbs talks about rim protection. Is it possible? Now, I didn't listen to really a lot to Tibbs last year in his press conferences, especially before the season started. But is it possible that he's talking more about rim protection this year because he knows the weakness of the guards and Rose and Kimba, that there's going to be more pressure added on with Mitch and Noel to have to protect that rim at a higher rate because he knows these guards are probably going to get cooked on defense, and he's going to emphasize more help defense and also emphasize more rim protection?
Well, I think a lot of times, a lot of the discussion he had about rim protection is when he was asked a question about Julius Randle and Obi Toppin playing together, right? Then there was a lot, he was like, I'm concerned about that rim protection with those two guys on the floor. Now, tonight, you've seen sometimes it wasn't Obi and Randle, it was Obi and Amir Sims on the floor with Kevin Knox out there, and some guards on the floor, and you didn't have the rim protection. I guess maybe he just wanted to see what it looked like or something. I don't know. But I do hear what you're saying, and it could be that, maybe that's the reason why he's saying that.
Yeah, because the coach knows his players and knows, especially Derrick Rose. He knows that Derrick Rose is probably at his age right now is not going to be a very good defender. He'll be a willing defender at best. And Kimba, he doesn't know about Kimba's defense. Maybe Kimba has a little more upside than Rose's defense does. But the fact is that I think there is going to be more pressure on the centers to protect the rim because you're not going to have an Elfrid Payton who's going to be able to check some of these guards like he did last year early in the season. Not talking the end of the season, but I'm just talking about early in the season. He was a decent defender. He did get up on guards a lot of times, but he couldn't score. So therefore, that's the offset, is that you're going to have now guys that can put buckets and make the other team play defense or the other player play defense against them.
Yeah, so, get that. Yeah. Looking at the Pistons box score, let me get that in front of me. There we go. Jeremiah Grant had 18 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Him and Julius Randle was going after it a little bit, which is, good to see. It's good to see that. We were talking a little bit before we got on the show that, maybe those two guys have a little something going on between each other, a little rivalry or something like that. That'd be cool. I wouldn't mind it. You know what I'm saying? It's nice to have somebody, who get your juices flowing when you go up against them who's, not a star or something like that, just somebody you got a rivalry against. And maybe they do. Maybe they do. Both of them were ascending last year and should continue to ascend this year. Josh Jackson, he had 10 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. Josh Jackson is one of those guys last season I wanted to see the Knicks go after. Right? I wanted to see the Knicks. I thought they had the leadership in place to take some chances on some guys who had some, maybe some character issues and see if they can help straighten them out and then have a player on their hands. Josh Jackson, I like that kid, and I thought the Knicks should have took a chance, but they didn't, so it's all good. Isaiah Stewart, 7 points, 8 rebounds for the Pistons. Frank Jackson, he had 15 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Saban Lee started at the point guard spot. He had 14 points, 5 assists, 2 steals. He shot 41.7% from the field. He was 4 for 4 from the three-point line. Kelly Olynyk, he had 10 points. Corey Joseph had 4 points. Amadou Diallo had 6 points and 5 rebounds. I like Amadou Diallo. I just do. I like his toughness and aggressiveness defensively. Trey Lyles had 7 points. Jamarco Pickett had 7 points. Luka Garza had 2 points. That's the lineup for the Detroit Pistons, ladies and gentlemen. Big Bubba. You took yourself out. So I had to take you out. You just left a big, ugly white mark on the screen. So I had to take you out. Anyway, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Yo, Sim, can you really stop doing that? That thing really drives me crazy, man.
Why?
Because I'm not no comic relief. I'm not no, I don't know what that is, man. I don't care what that is. They put some respect on my name. All 3 of y'all, 3 of y'all, put some respect on my name.
Come on, Karen, let's go.
Sim? Sim?
Come on, what did you have to say? You begged to get back in the chat. You begged to get back on the panel. Tell me what you got to say, man.
First of all, I don't beg.
Actually, see, what you don't know is when you put that in the chat, it came up on the screen for everybody, including those watching, to see. It came up. But anyway, go ahead. Say what you got to say because I want to get to some phone calls. Call in, ladies and gentlemen, 516-405-2246. I want to get your take on tonight's game.
Well, first and foremost, I did want to say that we have 330 people here, and we have only 86 likes. Please, people, can we get those likes up? Can we get to 150 likes in the next few minutes? Come on now, there's 300 people in here. Let's get them likes up.
Let's do it.
Yes, sir. But yeah, so listen, man. Oh my God, wait. Oh crap.
See, I just put the spotlight on this man so that he can have something to say. And all he says is all crap.
Wait.
All he says, ladies and gentlemen. No. All he says is all crap. Go ahead. Come on. Tell me what you got to say, bro. What's up?
Just go ahead, man. I forgot what I gotta. You put the spotlight on my head. I got a brain fart, man.
You got nervous. Anybody else? Anything that you wanted to add before we, try to get some phone calls here? Just about what we've seen from the Knicks tonight. Go ahead, Josh.
Listen, Evan Fournier. I mentioned that. I didn't expect Evan Fournier to play this well defensively. He's played really, really, better than I expected in these first 3 preseason games. So I got to give him some credit. We're talking a lot about him replacing Reggie Bullock at that 2-guard spot. And him being able to, guard the perimeter. He's been doing a fairly decent job. Even though overall the Knicks are allowing a lot of guards and wings to get into the paint, I think Evan Fournier deserves some credit for his step defensively, and I really like what he's bringing to the team right now.
Yeah. Any concerns about him only scoring 5 points today? Not really playing well offensively.
I'm not really concerned about that because again, the ball was moving around. It's just that the Knicks, they couldn't finish at the basket, and a lot of that was Evan Fournier. He just couldn't be able to finish. And the Knicks overall weren't able to finish. And when we got a guy like Julius Randle, I think we'll be okay in these types of games. So I'm not really concerned about that. Evan Fournier is going to score. He's going to get his at some points. There's going to be some games where he's off. I'm not concerned at all.
Okay, only.
Oh, Sam, I did want to say.
Hold on. Only 6 shots from Evan Fournier tonight. Only took 6 shots. 2 for 6 from the field, 1 for 3 from the 3-point line. He had 2 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block, 1 turnover tonight for Evan Fournier. Go ahead, Big Bubba.
I just want to say one thing I did notice, Sam, man, this is going to be a physical season, Sam. This is going to be a real physical season because they were not calling. There was a lot of calls that last year they would have called.
Mm-hmm.
That, man, they are not calling this year, man. There's not going to be a lot of these, phantom calls and, guys going into other players getting the calls, man. There's not going to be a lot of those because watching the game tonight, man, it was physical, man. It looked like a game before James Harden and these guys started doing these calls. So it's definitely going to be a physical season. So the Knicks should be ready for this.
Yeah, it should be ready for it. And there's going to be more teams gunning for the Knicks this season, right?
Yeah.
More teams gunning for the Knicks because of who they are. So it's going to be more teams that's like, not who they are, but because of how good they, what their record was last season. They made the playoffs last season. So there's going to be more teams that are like, we're coming after these guys. You know what I mean? And they're going to play hard. Go ahead, Tony.
At some point in the game, and this worries me, I think the complaining got excessive. And we went through that stretch last year where, we was doing a lot of complaining to the refs.
Yeah.
And then tonight, at one point, it felt like the refs had enough and they just started letting stuff go. You know what I mean? Because right after one complaint, I felt like they got fouled like 3 consecutive plays. You know what I mean? And it just looked like the refs was like, "Oh, all right, you want to complain? All right." You know what I mean? We're gonna let a lot of things go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we gotta watch out for that.
Sim, Winston got to stop doing that, man. Too. I'm not gonna lie. Julius Randle gets me a little bit mad when he does that because it's like every play. I looked at him today, man. It's just like it was either every play or every other play. He's just arms flailing up, looking at the ref, and not getting back on defense. And I get Julius Randle was doing that last year, but man, you can't do that this year, man. Like you said, there are teams gunning for us. There's teams that that want to play hard against us, man. And again, they're not calling the same calls that they were doing last year. So I would like to see Julius Randle not cry so I don't want to say cry, but not complain so much every possession. Every time he goes in the paint or every time he does this, he just his arms flailing up and just looking at the refs. I wish he wouldn't do that as much this season.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Listen, he's going to do it. We know that. And, you know, he does have a little bit of a reputation of a guy who can lose temper a little bit. I think refs will be watching that. But also, you got to understand, Julius Randle is big, strong, fast, and guys are going to foul him a lot, and he's not going to get those calls. So he's going to complain about some things, and he may have some gripes, a lot of gripes along the way. But I get exactly what you're saying there. I have, you know, no arguments and no complaints. If I had some hand claps, I'd give you some hand claps since I always got to give you the, you know, sad sound. But do I?
You know you can literally clap your. You know you can literally clap your hands.
Let me see if I got. Hey. Give me some hand claps.
Nathan, I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
How many minutes did Jericho play tonight?
None. 0. I don't think he played any tonight, right?
He came in the game for he came in for a couple minutes.
Oh,
but
hold on, let me see. Jericho. Oh, he did. He played for 5 minutes. 5 minutes and 53 seconds.
Okay,
yeah.
were you surprised that I mean maybe they wanted to see more of Amir Sims because he's kind of on the bubble of being a 15 guy or maybe a two-way, or were you kind of surprised you didn't see Jericho Sims more?
Well, I think you know, when you're talking schematically, and you know, at this point, you know, they're trying to ramp up. They're trying to ramp up their strategies, right? He was going to have to guard maybe Kelly Olynyk out on a perimeter, maybe. Maybe he didn't like that matchup, right? Because they're not big, at least not tonight. Isaiah Stewart, their starting center, is 6'8". Mm-hmm. So I think he was more comfortable with going and playing some small ball, right? Because Kelly Olynyk, while, you know, he's a little taller and he can shoot the ball from 3, but he's not blowing past anybody. He's not posting anybody up, right? He might grab a couple rebounds and he's going to shoot the 3. So I think he felt comfortable and maybe more comfortable with playing a little bit of small ball rather than having Jericho Sims out there. That's where Amir Sims came in.
Okay.
And why you seen that small ball in the second half. You know, and I didn't see all of the first half. So, you know, you might have seen some of that in the first half as well. I want to give a big shout out to Trayvon Cash. He said, this team has many ways to win due to its versatility and depth. It will probably look different in most games this year, depending on who's hot. Strap in. I agree 100%. I think we have the players and the depth and the versatility to play a lot of different styles in a lot of different ways. You know what I mean? And so you're going to see different rotations and different looks night in and night out, depending on who we're playing, you know, which is, I like that. I like that. And as long as we can pull out the win, that's all I care about.
Sam, I want to respond to Trayvon Cash because he called me out in the chat saying, Josh, it's preseason. They took the Piston team without most of their talent lightly. When they took the game serious, they blew them out. I'm nitpicking. You're nitpicking. They're fine. Who's nitpicking? Like, we're all happy the Knicks won the game. But when you talk about, and you have a post-game show and you talk about the game that was just played, you talk about the good things and you talk about the areas of improvement. It's not nitpicking. I said that I'm not concerned about the Knicks moving forward throughout the season. What I am concerned with is the guards getting into the paint a little bit. I think that's going to be an area that we need to watch as the season goes on. But I'm not concerned. This Knicks team will be fine. No one is, you know, going all crazy. Like I said before the preseason, going all crazy about the Knicks right now. At least I'm not. I'm not going crazy. I'm not, you know, making bold predictions and all that stuff. But it's a post-game show. We're breaking down the game. You talk about the good things, and you also talk about the areas of improvement. I don't see any issue with that.
Exactly.
No issue.
This is a good game I'm watching right now.
What are you talking about, bro? Like, where are you? What are you talking about? Yeah. Let's hit him. We gotta hit him with it. He deserves it. He deserves it, ladies and gentlemen.
No, I just said this is a good WNBA Finals game right now.
Yeah, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the New York Knicks. That's what we're talking about right now.
My bad. I'm trying
That's what we're
to be a
about.
little progressive. Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah, you know. Tomorrow, I will not be doing a shoot around tomorrow because I'll be traveling. I'll be on the road traveling, and I got a bunch of meetings before I've got to hit the road and go travel. So I don't think I'll be able to do a shoot around tomorrow, unless I do something, later in the evening. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I do want to ask you, going into the Washington game on Friday, what do you want to see in that game from the Knicks? I don't know if this is going to be the dress rehearsal or anything like that, but what do you want to see going into this game on Friday? Tony, I'll start with you.
Well, the first thing I'm going to look at is RJ guarding Bill again, because I know Bill is going to want to perform a lot better. So that's the first thing I'm looking for. Obviously, this is a better team. Probably, the best team we've played in the preseason. It's the last game for both of us. Mm-hmm. So it should be a lot more competitive. Maybe less of these second units, more of the solidified second unit rather than, guys trying to make the team and whatnot.
Right.
So, this should be the most competitive game, the closest thing we're going to get to a final roster, final rotation. Hopefully our bigs are back as well. That would be huge. It's just crazy. You think about Jericho is a fourth string center. You know what I mean? Like, mm-hmm. As far as Tibbs is concerned, I don't think he's ahead of Taj. He hasn't started. He's been starting Taj. So it's interesting. It's very interesting to me. And like I said, it's a good thing to have this position with the young guys that gotta wait their turn. Learn from vets, true vets. You know what I mean? Like, you got rookies learning from former MVPs and former All-Stars, and veteran guys like Taj that could teach Jericho and Obi some things. So I just think it's a great situation for where we are.
Okay. Yeah. Nate?
I want to see, like Tony was saying, I want to see if Mitch is going to be out there, Noel's going to be out there. I like to see a full whole team ready to go before the first regular season game. That would be great because at least they have one game to build some cohesion. I want to see, I guess, more defined rotations. I think we'll probably get a good idea of what the rotations are going to look like going into the first regular season game. I think my tip has had a little bit on that. And I just want to continue to see the defense. I want to see the defense continue to play hard and really shut down the other opposing team's players. Like I said before, I think the defense is really going to be the catalyst again this year. Even though our offense is better, we're going to hang our head on our defense. It's gonna drive us all season. That's really what's going to separate us from being a good team to being a great team, is that defense.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I kind of think that Tibbs' hat is flipped upside down by now. I pretty much know who's going to be playing and who's going to be in the rotation. I don't think there's anything.
We assume we could get something crazy the last game. Who knows?
Man, listen. we know who Tibbs is playing, man. There ain't no tip in his hat. That joint has been flipped over since last season. You know what I'm saying? They got a whole bunch of pennies and nickels and coins in it because everybody thinks he's broke. That's how long it's been tipped over. You know what I'm saying? Nah, we ain't getting nothing new. You know that. Big Bubba, all that change that's in Tom Thibodeau's hat, we probably need to put it into your pocket. Tell us, man, what do you expect to see from what do you expect to see on Friday?
I got money. I got money. Don't do that. I got money.
Okay, all right. It may not be spendable.
I got money.
It may not be spendable, but you got it. You got it. It may not be real American dollars, but you got it. Go ahead.
Whoa. What you think I got? We don't do no Monopoly, baby. We got money over here.
Okay, all right.
Oh my goodness.
Come on, man. Tell me, man. You wasting people's time. People got to get up and go to work tomorrow. What are you looking for? What are you looking forward to? What are you looking forward to?
Josh don't got a job. None of these dudes got jobs.
Yeah, okay.
So I mean,
Josh, what are you looking forward to?
I'm trying to say something, man.
What are you looking forward to on Friday? This guy don't want to answer nothing.
So listen, and I understand that Tibbs is going to disagree with me. He's going to do it his way or the highway. But I want to see these young guys get in. If you remember in the last preseason last year, we've seen a lot of those, guys, those get minutes for that last roster spot. That's pretty much how Mango quickly took over that role from Frank Ntilikina and Dennis Smith Jr. So I'm hoping to see a lot more of the young guys, the Grimes, the McBride, Jericho Sims. Obviously, I don't know why he got the quick hook tonight. I felt like he was playing pretty decent. I don't think he did anything bad to lose playing time. I think, and pretty much, I have a theory. I think Amir Sims earned some minutes in practice. I'm gonna go with that theory over the reason. That's the reason why he came into the game. So I'm looking for Thibodeau to give limited minutes to the rotation guys and get these young guys in there and let's see what we got. Selden on the bench and Amir Sims and those type of players.
Okay. All right. Now let me get back to Big Bubba. See if he, does he have something to say or not? Big Bubba.
You got too much power, brother. You got too much power. I don't like that. Anyways, what I was going to say is, look, I mean, this is the last game before the regular season. I think he's going to do a full dress rehearsal as much as he can. I don't think Mitchell Robinson is going to play. I really don't even think Noel is going to play. So I'm probably, we're going to probably be seeing Taj Gibson on Wednesday, starting the season. But yeah, like I said, he's going to do a full rehearsal for the team. These guys are probably going to most likely play the whole the whole 4 quarters. Yeah, that's it, man. This is going to be the game before the regular season, so they're going to all play. So,
do you think Taj is going to be starting at center for the season, or does Noel make it back? If Noel's going to make it back for the Boston game, we need him to come back Friday. If he's going to play in that Boston game, I really would like to see him come back Friday so that he can get his feet wet a little bit. Yeah,
I'm with you too. I'm with you too. If he's gonna play Wednesday, then he has to play Friday. If he doesn't play Friday, man, I'm not gonna lie. So I think it's gonna be Taj Gibson starting.
Yeah. We'll see. I'd hate to start the season, with the injury bug with our two shot blocking centers down already, but it may turn out that way, ladies and gentlemen. It might turn out that way. Before I get out of here, I do want to remind you all of this. This Saturday, October the 16th, at Dyckman Park, the Knicks are going to launch their season, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be there. We'll have some people from the panel that's going to be there. You know what I mean? There's going to be a Knicks alumni versus celebrity game. It's going to be dope. It's going to be fun. It's open to the public, ladies and gentlemen. All you got to do is show up. All right, it's open to the public. So,
got to be vaccinated too.
Well, yeah, you got to be vaccinated. The event is open to the public, but you must be fully vaccinated to attend. Says it right here on the screen. It's going to be dope, though. It's going to be fun. So if you're fully vaccinated, you got time to attend, get there. The gates open up at 11 a.m. The event starts at 12 p.m. The Knicks are kicking off the season, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be dope. It's going to be fun. Hopefully I'll see you guys there. Any last words before we get out of here? Josh, I'll start with you.
3-0 the preseason. Obviously, you still got the regular season to get to, but 3-0 is always a good sign. No matter how you look at it, whether it's JV, varsity, the NBA, the G League, whatever, I'll take 3-0 any day of the week. So, congrats on the Knicks, and let's see if we can close it out with a perfect 4-0 on Friday.
Yeah, let's do it, Tony.
Sim, appreciate you having me on as always. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the panel. Your back is time. I won't see you guys Friday because I will be traveling. So,
okay.
But I'll see you Saturday, and I'll see y'all at the game.
Hold on, you said you won't see us Friday? Oh, you mean on the show? On the show.
On the show. I'm gonna be driving.
Right, but you'll be at Dykeman on Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave Friday night.
Yeah. Okay.
So
no doubt. And
appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you. And Big Bubba. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. D Public Enemy told me to do it. He told me to do it. He told me to do it.
D Public Enemy gonna get it too.
D Public Enemy. He said every time Isaiah gets on the mic, theme tune. So listen. Go ahead, man.
Yo, D Public Enemy. Just know you on the list too. It's you, Sim, Tony, half of Josh. You're all on the list. Don't you worry.
Come on, last words, man. This is why you get the tune.
Listen,
last
man. Words, excited to see some people on Wednesday. I'm gonna be there in some type of form, kind of, a little bit. Can't go to the game, but I'm gonna try to be there for everybody. Have some fun, kick it with my family. I might come out to Dykeman. I don't want to get robbed, but I might come out. Yeah, man, it's gonna be fun, man. This is the last game before the regular season, and we good, baby. Click over 7 we coming back, baby. We out here.
Let's get it, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you all. Like I said, most likely I will not be doing a shoot around tomorrow, but if I find time to jump in for a couple minutes, I will. Because I like doing the shoot around because we really get a chance to break down what they said in the post game interviews and do some things like that. But I'm gonna be traveling, so it might be kind of hard. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. Be safe, be peaceful. I will definitely see you on Friday for a pregame show as well as a post-game show and all that good stuff. Spread love, ladies and gentlemen. I'm out.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.